You're good, Rabbi.
This afternoon, we gather here to share words of praise, words of honor, words of gratitude and thanks, words of love and appreciation. As today we recall a beloved daughter, a beloved sister, a beloved mother, a beloved grandmother, a beloved aunt, and a beloved friend, Elaine Tudela. We extend our deepest condolences to Elaine's family, to the apples of her eye, her children Lauren and Stephen and Nikki, to the diamonds in her crown, the ones who made her a grandma, her grandchildren, Seth and I wanted to double check. That's what I have on the paper, but I always want to say Seth and Nathan. To our brother Shelley and sister-in-law Susan. To our nieces and nephew and her friends. Our beloved Elaine now returns to her parents, Sam and Millie, all those who have gone before in their eternal home in heaven. We open with words from our Bible, beginning with Psalm 23. I'll chant it in Hebrew, the Lord is my shepherd, then you're welcome to join with me in English. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai ro'i lo echzar, binotesha yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yinaleni. Nafshi yeshoveh yamcheni b'magbei tzedek l'man shemo. Gam ki elech b'geit zalmavet, lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Shivtecha u'nishantecha hema yenachomuni, Taroch lefanai shulchan neged sorurai, Vishanta b'shemen roshi, Chassidra v'yam. Ato v'chesed yurdafuni kol yemei chaya, V'shakti v'veit Adonai le'orech chemi. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures, He leadeth me beside still waters, He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In our tradition, every Friday night, every Shabbos, it's traditional for children to bless their mother with a certain passage from the Bible, from the book of Proverbs, called Eshet Chayil, a woman of strength, a woman of valor. Today we remember a woman with incredible strength, a woman who was industrious, a woman who was an incredibly hard worker, a woman who worked for her family and who loved her family so much. So I'll read a passage from those traditional words that we say Friday nights. Eshet Chayil mi'imsa, v'rachab mibnim mecha, batak ba'le balal, v'shalom lo yekzar. What a precious find is a woman of valor. Her worth is far beyond rubies. She lacks nothing in life, because family is all. She's good, never bad, all the days of caring for her family. She is a woman who opens her hands to the needy, a woman who extends her hand to the poor. She is clothed with strength and splendor, and she looks to the future cheerfully. When she opens her mouth, it's filled with wisdom. Her tongue is filled with kindness. She oversees all the activities of her household. She never eats the bread of idleness. Her children come forward and bless her. A God-fearing woman is much to be praised. We extol her for the fruit of her hand, and whenever we gather, her good deeds continue to speak her praise. Elaine has left an incredible legacy. We're going to hear about that from some recollections and tributes from her family. And first, we're going to call up her son, Stephen.
You have to bear with me here a little bit.
First, thank you all for being here, talking to my mother. My mother was an amazing mother. She was shy and private, and when she was diagnosed, she kept it to herself for a bit because she did not want to call her friends. She wanted to battle it. She thought she'd be in for a long battle, and I know she, wishes she would have been able to be more capable of thanking all of you and telling all of you how much you meant to her and how much she always spoke about her friends and her family. But it was certainly tough. You all know she was raised here in Cleveland, and while she lived in Los Angeles for 50 years, she always considered this her home. She always said, she was raised in an incredible environment with amazing friends, loving parents who my sister and I were fortunate to have many years with and live with us in California, and we love them as well. She grew up in a safe and protected environment, so it made sense that she would rest here. She was raised with traditional Jewish values. She met my father young. She got married young, at least in today's frame. She had kids young, and she moved around the country for my father, where we ended up in Los Angeles. When my father and my mother split, my mom toughened for sure. She went to work and established a successful career to take care of my sister, myself, and she dedicated herself to our upbringing in and out. As I mentioned, she was very traditional, so her and my father kept an incredible friendship throughout the years to benefit my sister and I, and to make sure we had a similar upbringing to the way she was raised. She and my sister had an incredible relationship with our mother. She raised us with strong values and a good work ethic. She did everything she could to instill a Jewish identity in us. She wished that magically one of us would become a rabbi. Because it's never too late. However, I think she would think she failed in that area, of course, but she certainly mastered the use of Jewish guilt. And there was a small part of me when I was in the hospital with her that was hoping this was just her way of getting me to call her more, which I wish was true. As I mentioned, my mom was special to so many people, but certainly to my family. She loved a good book and recommending or reading more. She loved a good movie, even though we didn't always share the same taste. She loved music and dancing. She loved games and spending time with her grandkids, whether it was puzzles, Wordle daily, sending me Wordle requests, and of course, teaching and loving the family. She loved her friends, and of course she loved to be around her family and friends. Uncle Shelley and Susan, Daniel, and Elisa, I have to thank you for being so amazing to my mother. Always be there for her. Uncle Shelley, she always looked up to you as a big brother and admired and loved you. And Susan, she thought of you as a sister, not the married sister, the in-law, but a real sister and a best friend. And she spoke. I knew anything I had ever told her, she was immediately going to tell you, especially if it was good news, of course. Nikki, my wife, thank you for always calling Mom, Mom, and knowing that she was the first person we would call when there was anything important to say. He said to Nathan, your grandmother loved you so much. She was there for both your births. She would have done anything to spend more time with you. So thank you for being such amazing grandkids to your grandmother, and for giving so much back to her. And Lori, you and Mom were so close. Unbelievably close. I know how hard this is going to be for you. And I just want you to know that we love you and we'll be there for you. And thank you to everyone for showing your support. My mom was an amazing mother. Couldn't ask for anything better. When your mother dies, any little boy that's left in you is gone. Just tell her I wish one more time that I love her more than anything. So thank you for being there.
And our next tribute is from her sister in love, not law, Susan.
When I got married, I not only got a wonderful husband, I married into a wonderful family and got the best sister-in-law anyone could want. She was a sister to me. We were born on the same day, so maybe I should say a twin sister. We had a special bond. She was one of the most thoughtful people I know, always putting everyone else first ahead of herself. She was a worrier and was concerned about other people, but not necessarily herself. And her actions followed that. She wanted to protect everyone else. We talked often and shared many of the same thoughts, ideals, and values. She was more than a sister-in-law. She was a sister, a best friend, and I will miss her so much. I also have something her good friend Howard Saul just sent me today that he asked me to read. Elaine and I first met in the early 1980s during the beginning of our real estate careers. We immediately connected through our sense of humor, like-minded politics, and the simple joy of just laughing and having a good time together. That girl could really laugh. I felt a Midwest connection right away too, as my family were all from Chicago. She called me Hal, which sounded so much like my own family. We shared a love of music, in particular for the Rat Pack, and for all the fun and excitement that was early Las Vegas. Elaine went with me and Sarah, Sarah's his wife, to see Jackie Mason perform a stand-up routine in Beverly Hills, and later she and I went to a stage production about the life of Louis Prima in a small theater in Westwood. I knew Elaine well enough to know she was a good and loving mother and a proud grandmother to her two beautiful grandsons, Seth and Nathan. I knew how much she adored her brother Sheldon, his wife Susan, and the rest of her family friends in Cleveland. I'm glad Elaine and I were friends, and I will miss her dearly. May she now rest in peace. Howard Saul.
And our last family tribute will be from brother Shelley.
That's what he's saying.
They don't make it easy.
I'm about 4.5 years older than my sister was. And I remember when she was born, we were living on Earl Avenue and Linda Ride, the corner, and there was an apartment building here. And a lot of my friends lived there, with their young men, boys. They all had brothers. When I came, stood on the balcony and told them I had a sister, they made fun of me. What are you going to do with a sister? Well, of course, I felt bad. So there was always a distance between my sister and I in terms of she was a girl, she was 4.5 years younger than me. What was I going to do with her? I remember when the guys would take their brothers on the wagons and would pull them around. Well, I could do that with him. And my mother got her up in a snowsuit. She had huge cheeks, And she was really cute. And I would drag her around. And so we could do that. So that was one, that was one of the few things. I mean, some days we couldn't do anything like that. When we started going to school, we were always in different schools. So there was this distance to schools. When we moved up to Castlewood, even there, where we were in the same school, Chesterfield, and we would be in that school for 2 years together, we lived on the corner of 123rd Castlewood, and the school, Chesterfield, was on the corner of 123rd Castlewood. So we didn't have much of a walk to school, and I didn't have to worry about her. And so that, unlike other siblings, we didn't even walk to school together. I mean, that wasn't one of the things we did, so we didn't do that. Then, when we moved up to Cleveland Heights, and that was, I was going into Cleveland Heights High School, she did go to Boulevard High School, Boulevard Elementary School. And there she met a lot of her friends, and right down the street of her was her best friend, Hindi. Then Harriet Melzer, now Harriet Coppersmith, now Hindi Melzer. And she met all of her friends there, and she belonged to a club called GTT, and that was most of her social life, this club. Everything she did with them, and that was all through junior high and high school, and it was great. But again, this didn't involve me, because I was 4.5 years older than this. So she was doing that, and I was doing my thing. Then I went to college, and by the time I was done with college, 2 years out, she came to Ohio State University, but then she left when I started Ohio State Law School, so that was another thing. But when I was at law school, my roommate got engaged, and I needed a date. So I got in touch with my sister and Hindi, and they fixed me up with Susan. So I kind of owe her my whole happiness, my life. I've had a happy life since then with Susan. As an addendum, my roommate did not marry the girl that got engaged. And in any event, after I graduated from law school, we got married. And Elaine was, of course, married at that time too. And I thought, well, this time we'll be able to get together. Well, we already heard from Stephen. They were already on the move. So we had no time to be together, and they ended up in Los Angeles. When she was in Los Angeles, my parents moved out. They were, that's why she knew. So we did go visit a couple times a year. And one thing that was sure, the person that was going to pick me up from the airport was Elaine. She was always there for us. Always there for everyone. That's what she did. She voted. She gave. She was the most generous thing she could give. Her time to everybody. When someone willing to give their time, that's everything. And she did it not only for us, but for her friends, for her daughter, her dog. She was a very generous person. She was a very kind person. She was a very loving person. And I'm going to tell you now that all the times we were together, we had great times and we loved it. And now, as I think back on Earl Avenue and the guys, I want them to know I would never take a brother for Susan. May her memory be blessed.
Thank you to Stephen, to Susan, and to Shelley for beautifully telling us about Elaine. Loving, loyal, generous, she was a giver with unconditional love, with always her full attention. No matter where you were, no matter how long it took, she took care of you, and as you said, was always there for you. Thoughtful, a self-made woman who taught you with her incredible work ethic and drive. If you needed something within minutes of you asking, it was done. A great problem solver. If you told her what you were working on or struggling with, she wouldn't just do it for you, she'd do it with you and work it out together. She had what we call seichel, common sense. She was grounded and practical, funny with a great sense of humor, with her quick wit, sophisticated, socially conscious in her traditional ways that Stephen talked about. You told me she was her mother's daughter, learning from the best, Millie, just like her. She was giving, logical, put everyone first, lived by the highest values. Elaine set high standards for all those around her, including herself. As you heard, born at Mount Sinai Hospital, raised first in the city of Cleveland, and then moving to Heights. She attended Heights High, and as you say, began her studies at Ohio State. Elaine didn't falter when life changed, when she became a single mother raising the two of you. She was industrious, she knew she had to support the family, and as you said, she went into real estate and then found her calling as a mortgage broker because it had better hours, more set times, and so she could take care of the two of you, Lori and Stephen. She understood the mortgage business also, which isn't simple. She had the special skill to move mountains for her clients, to get them the best rates and loans even when they had little to show for themselves, allowing so many to have homes for their families. Never finishing her degree at Ohio State, education was so important to her that she went back to school. Juggling everything, she graduated with a psychology degree from Cal State Dominguez, fulfilling her goal as a great role model for her children. The best mother, you told me she instilled so much in the two of you. How she was always there, always wanted things to be perfect for you. How close and special both of your relationships were throughout life. How you were also similar with that same sense of humor. Stephen, you told me that whenever there was something special in your life, without hesitation, she would jump on a plane and be right there with you. To celebrate, to kvel, to take care of you, or to just be with you and with Seth and Nathan. Her grandchildren who could do no wrong in her eyes. As you said, flying in for each of their birthdays and any special event that they had. Your grandmother always wanted to make special memories together. FaceTiming you, playing with puzzles, reading with you, building Legos, drawing, taking you to museums, to the science center, every visit planning out something, everything that would make Seth and Nathan happy. And Lori, you and Mom did everything together. She was your best friend. You spoke at least 5 times a day, you told me, if you weren't together. She was your constant. She took care of you through your own health issues. She loved your dogs, and even your dog Kobe moved in with her. You told me every memory that you have is a memory with your mother. Whether it was walking together near her home in Santa Monica, whether it was being the best brownie troop leader ever, whether it was the themed birthday parties that she threw for you and your brother, simply the best. You heard about Shelley and Susan's relationship. The 5 years didn't prevent you from having a great connection. And you shared with me that over the years, your relationship and connection only grew stronger. A great friend, as you heard, she kept the closest friends, her longest friends close, and in a wide circle the ability to bring in new friends, wherever she was and whatever she was doing. She was a Maj expert. She was part of a special Maj team in California. She loved to dance and was quite a dancer at Arthur Murray's studio, especially doing the West Coast swing, and you told me you have some very special video of her doing dancing. She always loved to learn. In fact, she was working on learning Spanish, so Nikki, she could converse more directly with your parents, who we call Ramachatanim. She could feed you. She cooked well. Her signature dish was her kugel. In fact, you told me she made the best kugel, and that she actually had two different kugels she made. She made a dairy kugel and a parv kugel. The dairy one, of course, had sour cream and cottage cheese. The parv kugel usually did not have raisins because Stephen is not a raisin fan. Maybe if you were in another state, raisins would appear. But when you were around, it was always pineapple, her secret ingredient. In fact, Lori, you told me one time she made kugel for your synagogue in LA, Temple Akiva. And when the rabbi tasted it, you told me he went nuts. Banana bread was another staple, always delicious. And she was a soup maven. You told me she could make any soup. Of course, her specialty was your grandmother's chicken soup. She made all the family recipes from grandma, from your aunts, only she made them healthier, substituting all the good stuff that we really like, making it healthier, which usually worked out well. Just days before she left this world, she turned 80. She made it to her 80th birthday, a woman who lived a vibrant life, who worked hard, selflessly always putting her family and others first. A woman who lived by the highest values and principles, who taught her children well, who loved her grandchildren, spent as much time as she could with you online and in person. Elaine was a good neshama, a good and kind soul, generous to a fault. Today, we say goodbye, but it's never really goodbye. Elaine is still here. Elaine is in all that you say, all that you laugh about, because of that sense of humor, and in all that you do. May Elaine's memory continue to bring blessings, inspire kindness, generosity, and love. And we say, Amen. At this point, we're going to pause as the casket is lowered. Following the lowering of the casket, we'll each have the opportunity to shovel earth on the casket, and then we'll regroup for our closing prayers and to give the family the opportunity to recite Kaddish. I'll note that Shiva follows the service at Shelley and Susan's home, 2770 Brainerd Hills Drive in Pepper Pike, following the service until 4 o'clock. And then Shiva resumes from 7 to 9 tonight, Friday afternoon 1 to 5, Saturday night 7 to 9, Sunday 1 to 4, and then 7 to 9. And those who would like to contribute to carry on Elaine's name and value, the family asked to donate to the American Cancer Society. your righteous deeds go before you. May you be at peace. May you return to your mother and father and all those who go before you. We'll invite the family that would like to fulfill the mitzvah, and then after the family, anyone else who wants to participate in shoveling our Hanukkah. Really hard to do upstairs. Whatever you do. Anyone else wishes to go to the other side, they're more than welcome to.
Could be.
Class of 60, right?
No, 58.
Oh,
June 58.
oh, you're looking good.
She was, a really wonderful person. So sorry. You're the best.
Thank you for being with us.
Didn't see her much, didn't talk to her. But I love her.
There were distances. Could not make up for it.
We got there, we got there.
She didn't come back.
No. She came back for every year.
Right. That's 2 years ago. She was
There's lots of pictures.
good.
Well, that's a big part of all of the connectors that are still here. Here they are. And two of them couldn't come today, but they'll come over.
It was good. She appreciated it.
Thank you for mentioning.
Oh my God! You got a lot of
Have lots of opportunities to hug you over the next days, but I'll take any I can get.
All right, don't sit down. We're not going to sit down. We're going to regather for our closing prayers.
Folks, we're
Gonna
going to
stand up for
regather. The
Abel.
rabbi's going to begin again, please.
Going to gather. Let's chant the memorial prayer, the El Mali in Hebrew and English, and then we'll say the Kaddish together with the family. El Mali Rachamim, Shofen Bamron מצאנו כנכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, למעלות קדושים וטובים, כזוהר הרקיעים האסירים נשמעת, זולדה בת שמואל ומלכה, שלחה לעולמה, בגן עדן תמנוחתה, ענה ברחמים, אז תדעה בסתר כנפך לעולמים, וצור בצורך האמת נשמתה, ארונו נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, to the soul of our beloved Elaine, Zelda, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May she merit the reward for living a life filled with kindness, with righteousness, generosity, and love. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And we say, Amen. At this point, we're going to recite Kaddish for the first time. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei, Lechayeko nevyomecha nevachaye lechol beit Yisrael, La'agala u'vizman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach li'alam oleme almaya, Yikarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitramam v'yitaseh, Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei l'kudsha b'richo, La'elam yinkol birchata v'shirata, Tishbechata v'nechamata damiran v'yolama v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba bin Shemaya, L'chaim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'rama, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. As our service concludes, we actually believe at this moment that her soul begins to ascend to heaven. So we'll join her parents, Sam and Millie, all those who've gone before. And it's actually our tradition to say words of forgiveness, that perhaps there was something left unsaid, some action undone. That Elaine, we ask for your forgiveness, for you know that our intentions were always filled with love. Our intentions were always to do the best for you, just as you selflessly did for us. And the same for you, Elaine, though you cannot speak and though we know you are perfect and blameless. Perhaps there was some circle that wasn't closed, some word that wasn't said, some action that wasn't done. We forgive you. Our bond is love. Our bond is family and friendship, and we know that you put us first. We'll remember you. We'll love you. We'll carry you on. And we say, Amen. At this point, it is hard for the family to leave this difficult and also special and holy place. We're going to lead them back to their car so that they can sit Shiva. So we're going to make a pathway facing each other.